Hello, everybody, and welcome. Hi, Renee. Not sure why it popped up so early, but we're here, and hopefully, we're going to do okay tonight. Tonight, I am really excited to share with you the Everyday Details bundle. It came today, and I'd kind of been waiting for it. It was one I waited to get. So, we are going to do a vertical gatefold card. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so happy you're here with me and that you found me. I hope you like what you see and come back. And if you're here with me live, leave me a comment. Hopefully you can hear and see me well. Thank you for being with me and helping me grow my channel. And if you catch the replay, thank you for joining me in that way also. So I am going to flip this camera down and we're going to get started. Okay, now I just want to bring in a little bit more light here. And we're going to work on that here. All right, so here's the bundle that we're using. We are using the Everyday Details, and I know you have a little bit of glare there, but some really pretty images. This is a cling stamp set. It's floral, teacup, a nest, which is what we'll be using today. And you have some greetings here. But I really was really liked the dies. You have some really great dies, and I've cut some of them out to show you. This is the large circle, and all of the circles cut the same, but the small one. And we will be using that for our greeting. But you have they're perforated, or you have these little circles around the edge. And you have 4 sizes of those. And then you have these rectangles, which are the same. This is the larger one. They all cut out the same, except the smallest one, like the smallest circle, is just like a real tiny perforation or an edging. You have these great dies. Let me bring these in for you here. For just adding some dimension and some interest to your card. These small ones, this is how they cut out. Let me move this over and show you here. So you have these short ones, and then you have this one that, I don't know, it reminds me almost of those old-fashioned gates that we used to pull. I guess I'm showing my age. It was gates that we used to keep kids or pets in. Hi, Kathy. Thank you for joining me. So this is what that one cuts. They don't cut along the edge of either of these. So I believe this one was a 1/4 inch, and this one was 3/4 of an inch. So it actually just cuts like you see it. So you need to cut it to size. Thank you, Maria. The dies are cool, Renee. They really are. So I'm going to move this out and we're going to get started. Now, the card we're going to make today, I am using I'm using Misty Moonlight, but I'll tell you something funny about that in a minute. And I'm pairing it with the Flight and Airy paper. So I'm going to use a piece with the birds. And I'm also going to use a piece from the back of one of these that looks almost like clouds or watercolor. So we're starting off, and don't worry about measurements. I do have a tutorial for you. It will be up by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. There'll be a link right down below in the video description where you can click over, and there'll be a downloadable PDF, measurements, supplies. So we're starting off with a 4 1/8. So this is a little different. It's not 4 1/4, it's 4 1/8 by 11. And we have 2 score lines, which I'm going to have to remeasure here. One is at 2 3/4, and one is at 2 7/8. And the one that is at 2 3/4 is going to be at the bottom. So I am going to bring in my trimmer and make sure that I have the 2 3/4. Yep, at the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and fold up for this one. And I'm just going to give it a good burnish. And then we're going to fold down for the top. All right. So that's the beginning of our card. Now I have 2 pieces of designer series paper. One is going to go on the bottom, and this is 2 5/8 by 4. And again, all those measurements will be there for you tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and add some glue. That way, if I can move it around if I need to. And we're going to put this one here. So you have, and then we're going to add glue, and we're going to put this one on the top. Now, the funny story about this, which actually I am going to show you the card when I'm done. I have 2 more cards to show you. So hang with me to the end. I was doing this yesterday and getting ready for today. I knew what I wanted to do, but I always try to do a sample card. I never wing it. So I picked my paper and I went over to the blues and I pulled out a blue thinking it was what we're using, Misty Moonlight. Well, sure enough, it wasn't. And when I got done, I realized I used Orchid Oasis. And I have to tell you, I love that color with what we're doing. So I did keep the card out. So I'm going to show it to you when we're done. Now, the reason we cut this at 4 1/8 is because we're going to mount it on a back of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I chose Calypso Coral to use with the blue because, for one, they're complementary colors. They do look good together. And I wanted to pull in the coral, Calypso Coral, from the birds. I just really wanted to pair those up together. So here is the base of our card. Now for the outside, remember I said we were going to use that large circle. But what I want to impress upon you is that you can use anything to put on your top flap. You can use a circle, you can use a square, you can use a rectangle. I'm going to show you the one I told you I made with the Orchid Oasis, and it is a circle, but then I made another one with 2 squares. So I'm going to show you that. Thank you, Pam. I'm glad you like the colors. So for this one, I did cut the biggest circle, and we're going to use the nest with the eggs. So I'm going to stamp that with the Tuxedo Black Memento ink because I'm going to color it with my Stampin' Blends. These images on this stamp set are just perfect for coloring. And I even have a card I made with it that I kind of watercolored yesterday. So we're going to stamp this. And I'm going to let that dry for just a second. And we're going to color. I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Blends. So I have pecan pie for the nest. And I brought in some lemon lime twist for the leaves. And then I have a various blues because I want to color the eggs blue. So everybody kind of colors a little bit differently, but I'm just taking my pecan pie, the dark, and I'm going to go in here at the bottom and through some of the accent lines that Stampin' Up! Provides on the stamp. I'm just going to add some dark to this. And I'm not really doing it in any strategic way because I'm going to come in with my light pumpkin pie and fill in the rest. I can always go back around and add some more dark. So I'm just going to start moving my color. And I love Stampin' Blends. There's a card I did yesterday. I actually used my water painter to color the nest and the eggs. And I used the refills and just dropped a drop on the acrylic block and watered it down a little bit. So lots of ways to color these. Great for your watercolor pencils. So just going to add a little bit here. So I hope you have some fun plans for the weekend. There are some things to let you know about Stampin' Up! If you're not a demonstrator. Stampin' Up! Today for the demonstrators released some new online exclusives. And I actually did order more than I intended, and it's coming tomorrow. So I will give you some sneak peeks of those next week. They will be available for you customers to buy on March 5th. I am going to come back in with my dark a little bit and just add a little bit here around the edge of the nest. They also released today 2 new kits, and those are available to purchase now. So here's our nest. Now for the leaves, I am going to use my lemon lime twist, and they are so tiny. Let me hold this image up, that you really can't do a lot of blending with them. So I'm just going to grab my dark and I'm going to go ahead and just add some color to these. They really are small. So if you get a chance, go over and look at that, the new kits. One of the kits actually, I believe there are 3 little shadow boxes, and you design plants to put in them. It's really cute. Okay, so there's our leaves. Now I'm going to come in with my blues, and I have my pool party is what I grabbed. And I also have some light balmy blue. And I did grab, I guess those are the 2 we're going to use. So I'm going to come in here with my dark balmy blue, and I'm just going to add. Now with the colors, I am going to mix the balmy blue and the pool party just to get a different color blue for my eggs. And that's really, I think, fun to do. I know when I first started using them, I pretty much stayed with the light and the dark of the same colors. And I don't do that anymore. I really mix and to kind of design my own colors. I'm going to show you another card where I used Flirty Flamingo, Calypso Coral, and Bubble Bath all on the same flowers so that I could get the color to try to match up what I was doing or use it with the color in the designer series paper. Getting tongue-tied here. So I'm just coloring things in lightly. And this is the light balmy blue. I'm going over the pool party and the dark. Those look pretty good. And then I'm going to come back in with my light pecan pie and just make sure that I get this colored in here. All right. I'm going to get these blends out of our way here. So here is what we're going to mount right here on our card. Now I am going to glue this part down, and remember, when you glue, you only want to glue what is going to attach to the upper flap of our vertical gatefold card. So I am going to use my glue, my multi-purpose glue. Now you could actually use Stampin' Dimensionals if you wanted to. I am going to use them on my greeting, but I am not going to use them on here. So just go ahead, make sure I don't have glue, and I don't. And we now have this adhered to our card. Now for our greeting, I chose one of the greetings from the stamp set. I chose this little one that says, "Wishing you so much joy on this special day." I thought you could use this for a birthday. I thought of a retirement card even you could use it for. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp this right side up instead of upside down. And I did go ahead and cut it out ahead of time using this little die. So here's the little die, if you can see the dots compared to the big one. Now I'm going to grab a couple mini dimensionals, and we're going to pop those on the back, and I'm going to pop this on the front of my card. So does anybody have any special plans for the weekend? I'm going to be at sports events all weekend. I have a grandson that's about almost 12, and he plays basketball. And so here is the front of our card. Now, I want to add a bow. So I pulled out that, is it the 2020, I think 2022 to 2024 Baker's Twine. And I believe it's Orchid Oasis. However, it's so light, it goes beautifully with this blue. So I'm just going to tie a bow quickly and bring it down a little bit in size. I want this one a little bit bigger than I typically make, simply because I want to put it in this area here, and I'm going to add it with a glue dot. So let me grab one of those. And then I have a senior grandson who's graduating in June and has played hockey since he was 4. And this is going to be his last hockey games are this weekend. So I'll be at those. Now for our inside, I'm going to use this die cut that I showed you from the Everyday Details dies. And this is cut. This is a piece of 3, I believe, 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And I am not going to stamp anything on it yet until I decide for what special day and who I am using this for. And then I'll go back inside and stamp my greeting. Now for this, all I'm doing is adding a little bit of glue around the perforations. And then we're going to adhere that to the inside. And then I have 2 other cards to show you. So a really fun stamp set and dies. The dies are so much fun and so much Can you hear me now? Can you let me know if you can hear me now? Hopefully you can. Can you hear me now? Hopefully we have sound back. I'm not sure why we lost it. Yes, okay, thanks, Kim. So with this one, I cut a 2 3/4 inch square and did it on a diagonal. You could certainly use it just as a square and not on the diagonal. And then this is a 3 by 3 piece of Lost Lagoon. So this is soft sea foam with Lost Lagoon that I used the same paper. And on the inside, I just did my strips of a piece of cardstock and a piece of the designer series paper. So play with the front of it. You can use a rectangle, a square, you can use the circle like we did. So lots of different options to come back and do. So let me bring you back to me. I hope you liked today's card, the vertical gatefold card or gatefold card. And I hope you enjoyed the stamp set and the dies. I'm not sure what happened to our sound, but I'm glad we got it back. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up. It helps me grow my channel. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe and well. And I will be back with you on Monday night at 7 p.m. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you soon.